A lot of coaches are about to get wiped out, and most of them don't even see it coming. And the ones who do are panicking because they think AI is about to make them obsolete. And you know what? They might be right. They're probably right. Here's what you need to know: AI is about to make the right coaches rich and put the wrong coaches right out of business. 6 months from now, the whole game is going to be different. So here's how I would build a $100 million coaching company starting today. No list, no audience, starting completely from scratch, that is 100% AI proof. Let's dive in. I'm Russ Ruffino. I'm the founder of Clients on Demand. Over the last 13 years, we've helped over 6,000 experts, coaches, consultants, therapists, doctors, attorneys build high ticket coaching businesses. We've done over $100 million in sales doing it. And this channel, I'm just going to pull back the curtain and show you what works for us. Obviously, your results are going to depend on you. Let me show you what I'd actually build. So here's the big change that's coming down the pike. The value of information is dropping to zero. Claude or ChatGPT can tell your prospect exactly how to solve their problems in 30 seconds completely for free. So anybody still selling information for a living is competing against free, and you're gonna lose. So people are already bombarded with information all day long, right? You're scrolling Instagram, you're scrolling TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Information has almost no value. But here's the thing: buried under all that free information, real transformation is just going to get more and more rare. You see, we're so busy reading and watching and not implementing. So as information is everywhere, real authentic transformation is rare as hell. And that's where the opportunity is. I mean, think about it. How many people do you know who really transform their life? Right? And the people who are broke today are usually broke tomorrow. The people with marriage problems today usually still have them tomorrow, no matter how many reels they binge or how many podcasts they consume, right? So the biggest problems in life are health, business, relationships. Those are not problems of information, they're problems of transformation. So transformation is worth more than ever because when AI does everything else, the one thing that becomes priceless is a real leader who gets you to do the thing and fix the problem you've been avoiding for like 10 years, right? It's the coach that holds you accountable. It's the mentor that believes in you when nobody else does. So AI can show you what to do, but it can't make you do it. So if I'm building a $100 million coaching company today, I am not in the information business. I'm in the transformation business, and that's the whole shift. So here's what's a little crazy. That's what I've been doing this whole time, right? High ticket, scalable, transformational coaching. And that's what we teach our clients to do too. So if I had to start over from zero, no team, no list, no brand, the first thing I'd build before the funnel, before the ads, before any of it is one high ticket offer that's designed around a specific transformation, right? So not a curriculum. Now, most experts get this totally backwards, right? They sit down to build their program, and then 3 months later, they have 47 hours of video that nobody's ever going to finish, modules, lessons, worksheets, PDFs. That's an information business. And the information business is dying. So if I'm starting over today, I'm building the outcome first. In other words, where's my client when they walk in the door, and where are they when they walk out? And then I would reverse engineer a very high touch, high accountability delivery system that produces that transformation again and again. So in the AI driven future, results are the only thing that counts, right? It's no longer what you teach, it's what you actually make happen. You see, AI can teach, but it cannot hold you accountable and it can't lead you. Why? Because you don't care what it thinks. Right? So think about a mentor who believed in you, right? A mom, dad, karate instructor, teacher, whatever. Somebody who saw the best in you and made you believe that you were more. You never wanted to let that person down, didn't you? Not ever. But we don't feel that way about AI, do we? Because AI is programmed to serve us, right? So it can give us advice, it can send reminders, but in the end, it's programmed to serve us. So we don't really care if we let it down. And that's why AI cannot produce real transformation. And that's why when information is everywhere, people will just get more and more hungry for leaders who believe in them, who hold them accountable, and who get them results. So the whole game now is this: what is the result that people are paying you for? How do you lead them into that result? And human leadership is irreplaceable. PDFs, videos, content, all that's going to be AI generated. So experts are still going to be selling courses, yeah. The information part of that course will become less and less valuable, but the accountability, the experience, the teaching, the leadership, those things are going to get more rare and more valuable as AI reshapes everything else. And this is where most experts are going wrong, even when they try to fix this. They go, okay, Russ, I'm going to build a high ticket offer. But they just take their old curriculum, they add some more videos, maybe some AI tools, and they slap a $5,000 price on it and they call it premium. But that's not a transformational offer, right? That's just an expensive info product. And yeah, you might get people to say yes and buy it, but the moment they log in, disappointment sets in. So as coaches and marketers and salespeople, we have to hype up our stuff, right? We have to make it sound cool. That's just our job. But the question is, do we deliver on the transformation that we're promising? Or are we just giving them more repackaged bullshit? And in the AI era, that kind of thing is dead on arrival. A real $5,000 or $15,000 transformational program is built on results. There's a clear before, there's a clear after, and the offer is the bridge that gets them there. And it's built mostly out of human attention, real-time accountability, and a community of people who are walking the same path. So ask yourself this honestly. If your prospect could get every piece of information in your program from ChatGPT for free tomorrow, would they still pay you $10,000? And if the honest answer is no, then you don't have a coaching offer. You have a grab bag of information, and that is the first thing you need to fix. So here's something kind of wild. If I had to start over today, I would not diversify my funnel. I would build one funnel. It would be a master class or maybe even a VSL that leads into a real human conversation, and I would obsess over it until it does world-class numbers, right? Before I touch anything else. Most experts are trying to be everywhere at once, right? You got an Instagram strategy, YouTube, an email funnel, webinar, podcast, low ticket, right? None of it works because it's just 5 or 6 half-built funnels. The reality is that in 2026, we know we're in a trust recession, right? We've talked about that. And that means your prospects, it's like they've been on 50 terrible dates with the coaching industry, right? So they're skeptical and you're date 51. So you cannot earn that level of trust at scale by just sprinkling content across all these different platforms. You have to give people a real sustained experience of who you are and what you know. So let me give you a quick parallel. I spent years bartending before I built my business, right? And there's 2 kinds of bartenders. The first kind pours drinks, mixes them right, gives them to you, doesn't spill. It's transactional, it's useful, it's replaceable, right? The second kind actually holds the bar. They know your name, they know what you drink, they know when you've had a bad week before you say anything. And they kind of become the therapist, honestly, for their regulars. People come back for them, not for the drinks, which they can get anywhere. So when the self-serve cocktail robots come out, right, they don't kill bartending, they kill the first kind of bartender. The second kind gets more valuable, not less, because he's providing an experience. So AI is that self-serve cocktail machine for the coaching industry, and it's going to wipe out everybody who's only selling information. But it's going to take those coaches who are real leaders and make them irreplaceable. So the funnel that I build is the funnel that allows people to experience that. Masterclass, application, calendar, call, close, that's it. So be honest with yourself. How many half-built funnels are you running right now? Just pick one. Make that thing world-class. The number of channels doesn't matter. It's how much trust you're creating. All right, so look, if at any point during this conversation you're thinking to yourself, damn, I actually need to do this, there's a link in the description of this video where you can book a call with my team. We will help you figure out your high ticket offer. We'll help you figure out how to position it. No pressure, no nothing. If you want our help to deploy it, great. But either way, we want to get you that clarity. All right, here's the next piece, because this is the most valuable role in the entire industry and almost nobody's talking about it. The next part is the one almost everybody's sleeping on. This is the place that I would put probably more attention on than anywhere else in the business. The single most valuable role in any coaching business right now, more than marketers or copywriters, more than even closers, is the human voice on the other end of the phone, and that's your setter. So most coaches are about to outsource appointment setting to AI. They're going to get a chat bot that qualifies leads because it's cheaper, and they're going to lose. Because the moment your prospect realizes they're talking to a robot, the trust evaporates. Now, we have a great setter. Her name is Franzi. She's probably the highest leverage person in our entire company. When somebody books a call with us, they're not just getting their schedule confirmed, they're having a real conversation with a real human being who's really cool and really cares about whether or not they're a fit. And that makes people feel seen, right? Maybe for the first time in this industry. And now this is where every coaching business gets it wrong, right? They think the setter's job is to qualify the lead, and that's backwards. The setter's job is to make the prospect feel like a human being instead of a number on a Calendly link. You see what I mean? That's it. The qualification happens automatically. When somebody's treated like a person, they tell you the truth about where they are, about what they need, about whether they're ready. That's the new moat in this industry. So while everybody else is racing to automate the human out of the front end, smart operators are doing the opposite. We're putting humans back in, and we're putting them back in at those key moments, the moments that matter the most. So think about the last time that you booked a call with anybody where the entire experience felt like you were just being processed, right? A bot booking, confirmation email, reminder, automated Zoom link, nobody cared about you. How does that feel? Does it build trust or kill it? Right now, flip it, right? Imagine that the first thing you got was a real person with a real voice asking real questions about your specific situation. You see, you would remember that and you would buy from that person before the call even started, maybe. That is the difference between a transactional business and a transformational one. And honestly, in 2026, when everybody is trying to pull humans out, you got to put the human back in at the right moment. That's the whole game. Now, here's where I would move fast and I wouldn't get cute about it. Traffic-wise, I tap every major channel, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, cold email. But I would never depend on any one of them. So I would sort of treat the traffic the way that an investor treats a portfolio, right? You want to diversify. You want it to be durable. You never want to be over dependent on one thing. But here's what most people don't understand. The reason you diversify your traffic is not to grow faster, it's just for survival. Because you can build a beautiful business, but if it's on rented land, the landlord can kick you off anytime he wants. So every dollar of traffic should do double duty, right? It should bring in a lead and it should build something, right? Build your email list, build your YouTube channel, build your reputation, build something that you sort of own. Get them on your email list because the algorithm can't take that from you. And the next thing is the part that no one in the coaching industry is really talking about. AI is not your competition. AI is your delivery team. So you have coaches and they use AI to handle every piece of information delivery. And that frees up those humans to focus on transformation. You see? So in our company, the AI is doing the stuff that used to take 3 full-time employees, right? That's answering frequently asked questions, pulling patterns out of sales calls, drafting first drafts of emails, pulling reports. None of that stuff creates transformation, right? And it used to consume my team's human attention. So now AI can do that, and our coaches can just coach. They can show up to calls fully present. They can focus on the things that only a human can do: accountability, courage, identity, belief, leadership. Those are the things AI cannot replace. Those things are your moat. That is the entire game. So if you're sitting there and you're watching this video and you're kind of feeling like fear, you're worried that AI is going to replace you, then I want you to hear this very carefully. That fear is justified. If you're afraid that AI is going to replace you, that's a signal that you maybe have been operating just on information and not transformation, and maybe you didn't realize it. Because real transformation doesn't fear AI, right? The coaches that hold real space for real humans who are getting results, they're confident, right? They know that AI is just going to make their job easier and not harder, okay? So if you're feeling that trepidation, that's the most useful thing because it's just pointing you in the direction of what needs to change. Not your strategy or your funnel, but the whole kind of business you've been running. And once you see it, you sort of can't unsee it. So way before Clients on Demand existed, I made a $27 ebook. I did a launch, did thousands and thousands of dollars in a weekend, and I thought I made it. But the next day I woke up, there was like 500 support requests. How do I download this? My cat got sick. Can I have a refund? This didn't make me rich and I tried it for 5 minutes. I want my money back. And that's when I had the realization that built this entire company. I asked myself one question. What if I just charged like $5,000 or $10,000 and I worked with a handful of people who were really serious? So instead of 2,000 tire kickers paying $27, what if I worked with the people who are really committed and got them a real transformation? And honestly, guys, that changed everything. The clients got better, the margins got better, results got better. We probably 10x'd our revenue. Low ticket attracted the wrong people because low ticket was fundamentally an information business. I was selling content, and content does not transform. Only humans can transform other humans. And that's the discovery that this entire $100 million company was built on. And that's the same discovery that makes our model work even better today. So here's the takeaway. We are at one of those rare moments in business history where the rules genuinely change, right? There's a small window right now for maybe the next 2-3 years where the playing field is being reset. Information's dead. It's not dying, it's dead. But transformation is more valuable than ever. Because in a world where everybody has access to all the information for free, the bottleneck isn't that they don't know what to do. The bottleneck is they have to become the kind of person who actually does it. And that is a human-only job. So if I had to build a $100 million coaching company again from scratch, I would do this. One high-ticket offer built around transformation, one funnel like a masterclass into a real human conversation, one setter on the front lines treating every prospect like a real person. I would diversify my traffic, and then AI would handle the pieces of information delivery, and that would free my coaches up to just focus on transformation. Right? So same kind of offer, same kind of funnel, same kind of conversation, but now today built for the era where transformation is the only thing that's worth buying. And every single piece of it is built around the one thing that only you can do. So be the person that your clients can trust to actually get them the result that they could never have gotten on their own. That is what's gonna crush it right now. That's what's gonna crush it in the future. So look, if anything in this video landed for you, if you're sitting there going, yeah, this is what I should be building, I've just been doing it wrong, then there's a link right under this video. Click it, book a call with our team, tell them what you're working on, and then we'll walk you through how this can sort of work for you. So if this hit home, hit that like button, drop a comment, tell me which one of these pieces hit for you the hardest and what you're gonna actually move on this week. If you have any questions about creating something transformational, just ask, right? Some people are gonna keep running that information playbook. They are gonna get wiped out by the flood of AI generated stuff that's coming. But if you can position yourself as a real leader who provides real connection and real transformation and gets people real results, you are going to be unstoppable and you have nothing to fear from AI because it's just going to make the tedious parts of your job easier so you can focus on the real transformational pieces. All right, book a call to talk to us, click the link under the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.